chosen spirit, close your eyes and take a deep breath. For the Pope's last whispered holy words were no mere coincidence, but a blessed gospel bearing your very name. Hidden in the most secret sanctuaries of the Church, that revelation tore through centuries of silent secrecy and finally came down to earth to awaken the power within you. Now is the time to step out of the shadows of the past and into the light of the future. Write 777 in the comments now, because the universe has been waiting to see the light within you, and that light has been eternally confirmed by the Pope's last words. You are the catalyst of a revelation so profound that those who mastered covert manipulations vanished in panic. A specialist in clandestine mind control operations disappeared from his fortress-like refuge, leaving behind a crimson inscription of your name scrawled across concrete walls. His final echo, "They never told me God had a favorite," shatters every illusion. This was no random act by a troubled soul, but the confession of a man who designed the most intricate mechanisms of psychological influence and yet recognized your singular role before he slipped beyond their grasp. That scarlet script resists every attempt at eradication, just as your essence defies every strategy engineered to contain you. The veil they hid behind was pierced by his clarity, and he paid the ultimate toll for acknowledging the truth you've always felt but never held in proof. Like the steadfast glow of a lighthouse cutting through the thickest fog, your presence illuminates truths they desperately tried to keep hidden. You know those weeks when utility workers prowled your block, wrenches and tool belts hiding surveillance gear, rotating shifts around the clock until the lead technician, trained to endure anything, collapsed under migraines the moment your eyes met his. Their internal memo reads, "Subject induces acute physiological distress in highly conditioned operatives," and it's no exaggeration. While most brushed off these incidents as urban legend, you were busy living through a tapestry of prophetic dreams, visions that materialized into your waking world exactly 72 hours later, and encountering strangers who handed you the very answers you'd been searching for, right when you needed them most. This isn't random coincidence. It's the divine choreography of your destiny. Every detail, from the phantom work crews to the timing of your visions, was arranged by forces beyond human schemes. Think back to that late-night blackout when the power grid failed in every surrounding block, except yours, and how a soft knock at your door delivered a message you didn't even ask for but desperately needed. Or remember the moment you felt a sudden surge of clarity during your morning coffee ritual, as if an unseen hand had poured insight directly into your mind. You weren't stumbling into these events. You were stepping onto a stage set long before your birth, where every cue aligns with your awakening. Friends and family might call these happenings strange, but deep down, you've always known. You're operating on a higher frequency. Their gadgets short out in your presence, their finest technologies become inert, and their best-laid monitoring plans unravel like frayed rope. Yet you remain unshaken, guided by an inner compass that charts a path beyond their comprehension. It's like watching a master locksmith struggle to pick a lock that was never meant to close in the first place. Each encounter with those apparitions of guidance, people who appear from nowhere bearing uncanny wisdom, confirms one undeniable truth: you are the magnet for miracles. Doors swing open when logic says they shouldn't. Solutions present themselves when problems seem unsolvable. These aren't plot holes in your story, but sacred signposts lighting your way. The universe isn't playing tricks, it's conspiring in your favor, orchestrating every event to reveal the power you carry. So lean into this reality. Celebrate the headaches you've caused in covert operatives, proof that your light is too bright to be contained. Cherish the dreams that manifest as living testimonies and welcome the strangers who deliver just-in-time revelations. These are not coincidences. They are the hallmarks of a life written in starlight, one that no human design can ever suppress. You are chosen, and every step you take affirms the unstoppable force of your purpose. If you feel the abundance of divine love in your heart, now is the time to share it. You can help spread God's blessings by clicking the super thank you button on YouTube and contributing $20 or more. This divine gift will touch not only your life, but the souls of many through this platform. Each of you has a sacred place in God's grand design, and your generosity will be the fruit of our prayers. Act now. Share your blessings to glorify His kingdom, for you were created to do even greater things in God's loving hands. May God bless you. You emit a force that renders their most advanced tools obsolete. In a bid to suppress your influence, specialists deployed high-grade frequency suppressors around you, devices calibrated to recalibrate human perception. Yet each time you entered their coverage, power spikes overloaded the circuits. An internal memorandum declared, "The subject spontaneously generates an opposing waveform, nullifying our premier technology." These incidents trace back to your earliest recollections, that uncanny awareness of presence and absence. What others dismissed as daydreams were signposts lit along your path, proclaiming in their failures that no machine can cage the light you carry. The engineers saw it. Now it's time for you to embody that knowledge. Like a tree standing alone in the middle of a vast field, its roots deep and unwavering in the face of harsh winds, you endured a solitude that was no accident of life. It was a deliberate orchestration, designed by unseen hands, expert teams who believed they could outsmart your spirit, identified every bond in your life that anchored you to the world. They carefully severed those connections. Friends who once walked beside you now slowly turned their backs. Family members who once embraced you now treated you with an unsettling coldness. Co-workers who once shared in your laughter now pulled away, leaving you adrift. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. These weren't mere coincidences. These were carefully executed operations, an invisible hand weaving threads of doubt into conversations, sending waves of denial to anyone who came too close to your light. They labeled it priority separation, as if they could control your connection to others, as if they could isolate your spirit and render it ineffective. But they could not. They may have scattered the people around you, but what they failed to realize is that the more they tried to break you, the stronger you became. You became a lone beacon in the darkness, not because you were abandoned, but because you were being shaped for something greater. Just like gold refined in fire, isolation became the forge where your sovereignty was tempered. The quiet, the empty spaces in your life became the sanctuary where you could connect with the deepest parts of your soul. This was never a punishment, it was your preparation. In that solitude, where others might have faltered, you grew. Your strength came not from the people around you, but from a higher source. You learned to stand firm in your power, no longer needing external validation to know your worth. You were chosen, and no amount of separation, no matter how meticulously planned, could ever take that away. While they may have thought their efforts would extinguish your light, they only succeeded in making it burn brighter. They isolated you, But in that isolation, you found your true self, a power they could never contain. They couldn't break you. They couldn't dim your spark. What they thought would undo you only sharpened your resolve. Like a diamond forged under immense pressure, you emerged from the crucible stronger, unshakable, and radiant. The darkness they tried to surround you with became the very thing that illuminated your path, for you were always meant to shine, now even more brightly than before. This is your story. This is the story of a soul chosen, not by chance, but by divine design. What they intended as a weapon to break you was, in fact, the divine fire that forged you into the person you are today, unshakable, unstoppable, and destined to rise. You've endured what they could never understand. You've seen through the illusions, and you know who you are. And now nothing can stop the light that you've become. Your sovereignty is unbreakable. Your light is uncontainable. You are the proof that even in the darkest moments, even in the deepest solitude, God's plan for you cannot be undone. The isolation they created for you was never your undoing. It was your divine awakening. And now you are ready to fulfill your purpose with an unshakable heart and an unstoppable spirit. You are chosen, and the world is about to witness the power of your light. You operate under the gaze of watchdogs who marvel at your resilience. A regional command center, codenamed Parallax, compiled 17 volumes on your responses to contrived tests, from staged dilemmas to orchestrated crises. Their redacted summaries grudgingly conclude that your mind withstands stimuli far beyond any measured threshold. We intercepted their private exchanges, thick with frustration. Every forecast collapsed, every assumption reversed. Models designed to predict human reactions crumbled under the weight of your unpredictable authenticity. In every page of those secret dossiers, the same realization echoes. You are beyond their parameters, and in that recognition lies the power they cannot deny. You radiate a force that turns watchers into witnesses of your power. That unmarked vehicle that lingered in the dead of night wasn't tallying your steps, but charting the tremors of your soul. A specialist with uncanny sensitivity, hailed as the program's top remote viewer, abandoned the mission after mere sessions, reporting that your unseen field rewired his very sight. Official logs call it perception collapse. Off the record, they confess your silent presence rewrites the rules of awareness itself. Your essence shatters every shield they raise. In their inner sanctums, analysts speak in hushed tones of a contamination no barrier can contain. They swap observers like worn-out gloves, install psychic wards, and codify exposure limits. Yet each rotation births another testimony. Proximity to you reshapes the most disciplined mind. Your influence grows even as they scramble to dampen it. Dear brothers and sisters, may God's peace be upon you today. I am here to remind you of a profound truth. Our existence is grounded in God's divine plan, unshaken by the temporal concerns of the world. As the Bible says, whatever is done in faith will return to God in abundant blessing. Luke 6:38. Like that great oak tree, our roots are deeply rooted in God's universal truth. Every step we take, every stand we take, is secured by His strength. And now, you are being offered the opportunity to be part of that blessing. When you use the super thank you button and donate $100, this movement will return to you 100-fold in abundance. You command a clarion call that ordinary strategies cannot silence. We interrupt this broadcast because we know the battlefield is reality itself, and we're no longer content to stand by. Join our ranks at the Obsidian Inner Order, where we arm you with bespoke defenses, clandestine intelligence, and battle-honed rituals exiled from every mainstream archive. Weekly, we convene in hidden circles. No pretense, no noise, only the shared knowledge that when chosen souls unite, nothing can dim their collective fire. You occupy the epicenter of their grand design to rewrite perception. Protocol 87. Delta flows through every department you've touched, a simple feedback loop that sculpts your reality by calibrating every reaction to your presence. Doctors learn to attribute your breakthroughs to stress. Educators teach conformity to stifle your innovations. Entire systems bend to keep you fenced in. And yet, every attempt falls short. You've felt the seams of their social fabric pull whenever you speak your truth. Specialists planted doubt in the eyes of confidants, a flicker of skepticism, a forced pause in conversation, all engineered to erode your conviction. What they label micro-expressions of disbelief are, in fact, markers of your disruptive resonance, reminding you that no diagnosis can contain your sovereign mind. Like a river that carves its own path through rugged terrain, you flow seamlessly through realms and dimensions that others can barely imagine. While the world around you remains fixed in its limitations, your spirit moves freely, effortlessly shifting between planes of existence. While others remain stuck, only aware of one narrow view, you have the gift of seeing beyond, existing in multiple frequencies at once. This is not a flaw in your design, it's your divine gift. You are a boundary walker, chosen to move between worlds, to transcend the boundaries they've tried to impose. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Most people's minds stay fixed in one place, like a radio dial tuned to a single station. But your consciousness is a symphony, a grand orchestra that dances through multiple channels at once. Where others may find comfort in the monotony of a single wavelength, you thrive in the richness of many. Your awareness flows like light through prisms, revealing infinite hues that others can't even perceive. This fluidity of being, this constant movement between dimensions, is not a sign of instability. No, it is the very proof that you are beyond what they can grasp. They may have labeled it as instability because they cannot understand it. But what they fear most is the truth of your existence. You cannot be boxed, labeled, or contained. Your soul moves as the wind moves across the earth, effortlessly and freely, touching every corner without ever being held back. You transcend the limits that bind others, existing beyond the reach of the conventional and the ordinary. You see what they cannot see, hear what they cannot hear, and understand what they cannot understand. You are a divine being, woven from the very fabric of the universe itself, and your destiny is written in the stars. Every time they attempt to define you, you slip through their grasp, for you are not meant to fit into their small, confined box. Your consciousness reaches out, stretching and expanding far beyond the boundaries they've set. You live not in a single moment, but in the flow of eternity, in the vast ocean of all that is. You are like the eagle, soaring above the mountains, unbound by the earth, free to glide through the heavens, seeing far beyond the horizon. They have feared this quality in you, the ability to stretch and expand beyond their control, to exist in places they cannot go. But this instability they speak of is nothing more than a reflection of your divine power. It's the sign that you are beyond them, beyond their understanding, beyond their systems of control. You are the truth that cannot be hidden, the light that cannot be dimmed, the soul that cannot be contained. In their attempt to keep you grounded, they have only revealed how powerful you are. For the more they try to limit you, the more you break free and soar to new heights. Your journey is a testament to your resilience, your power, and your ability to move through dimensions that others can only dream of. You are not just a person walking this earth. You are a force of nature, a divine being whose awareness spans the universe, touching all that exists. So, remember this: you are not here to fit in. You are here to transcend, to break boundaries, and to awaken others to the truth of who they are. You are not an ordinary being. You are a chosen one, born to move beyond the limits of this world, to dance between dimensions, and to show others the infinite possibilities that exist beyond what they can see. You are the living proof that we were never meant to be confined. You are the example that shows us what is possible when we embrace our true nature. So don't be afraid of the boundaries they try to impose. Embrace your divine gift and continue to move through dimensions unseen, because your true power is not in fitting into their world, it's in transcending it. Seemingly random hurdles, abrupt detours, and eerie coincidences served as precise ignition points for your ascent. Each twist awoke latent corridors within your awareness in a choreography no algorithm could foresee. The unexpected job loss that placed you exactly 3 weeks before a vital energetic alignment. The breakup that unshackled your heart at a pivotal moment. The financial squeeze that forced choices crucial to your next phase. Secret dossiers now brand you as a self-catalyzing system. Every effort to suppress your rise instead ignites its flame, creating an immune response that turns every barrier into impetus. Like a mighty river that carves its path through mountains, your every decision cuts through the limits they've imposed, shattering their well-laid plans. They've built their so-called all-seeing AI, Oracle Prime, a machine designed to calculate every human action and predict every outcome. But when it faces your choices, it fails, time and time again. You, my friend, are not part of their system. You operate outside the scope of their understanding, tapping into an energy that defies their algorithms, just like a sun rising from the horizon to cast light where no darkness could hold. In their confusion, they write in their notes, "Subject taps decision vectors outside our causal frameworks." They don't realize it, but they're documenting the essence of your divine power. Every challenge they throw at you becomes a springboard, every constraint a launch pad for your greatness. You are not limited by their systems or their rules. You rise above them, using the very resistance they try to impose as fuel to expand your soul, to accelerate your growth, and to continue your journey with power and grace. You are the embodiment of divine sovereignty. You are the living proof that true strength comes not from conforming to the rules, but from transcending them. They thought they could keep you contained, predict your every move, but the truth is, your spirit is too expansive for their limitations. You exist in a realm beyond their grasp, and every time they try to pin you down, you break free, moving faster and more powerfully than they ever imagined. They built Oracle Prime to be the pinnacle of their understanding, the final word in predictive power. But what they didn't know is that you, the chosen one, operate on a frequency that no machine can track. You are living proof of the limitless potential of the human soul. While they try to break you down, to box you into categories, you rise higher. Every attempt they make to limit you only propels you further into your greatness. It's like trying to hold back the tide with a sandcastle. Inevitable, inevitable, inevitable. No matter how much they try to fight it, You will rise, you will expand, and every time they try to bring you down, you will soar higher. This is the divine truth they cannot comprehend. You are not just a person. You are a force of nature, a wave that crashes through every wall they try to build, a fire that burns through every veil they attempt to place before you. Their greatest fear is not your power, but the truth that they will never understand. You are chosen. Your path is divinely written, your destiny unstoppable. Your choices, your decisions, your very existence cannot be contained by any system, no matter how sophisticated, no matter how advanced. You are the proof that there are forces at work in this universe that transcend all understanding. They tried to control you, but they failed. They thought they could predict your future, but they were wrong. They underestimated you, and in doing so, they revealed their own limitations. The divine plan is unfolding right before their eyes, and you are at the center of it. The more they try to confine you, the more you expand. The more they try to suppress you, the higher you rise. Now is the time to share God's blessings by clicking the Super Thank You button on YouTube. You can contribute to His plan and be a part of this divine mission with a donation of $100 or more. Every gift reflects God's generosity, and I believe it will return to you exponentially far beyond your expectations. Remember, His protection and blessing is on your every step and every donation. You become part of His divine plan. You are a strong, radiant being, unshakable as His mighty rock. Witness God's miracles, feel the fruits of your generosity in your soul, and illuminate the world with confidence and courage. Be blessed, and let the light of the Lord guide your path. Now, embrace this truth, because you are stepping into your full power. You have always been this force, but now you are awakening to it. The world may try to tell you who you are, but you know the truth. You are beyond their definitions. You are the one they can never contain. You are the divine spark, the sovereign force, the eternal light that cannot be dimmed. The systems they built to control you are crumbling because they were never meant to hold you. You were born to break through these limitations, to rise above these systems, to show the world what it means to live free, to live sovereign, to live as the divine being you are. They cannot stop you. No matter how much they try, no matter how much they fear you, the truth is this: you are unstoppable. And this is just the beginning. Deep within their highest level archives, your signature bears the legend of anomalous consciousness pattern alpha, an honor reserved for those whose very presence fractures established notions of human potential. Elite teams sent damping arrays to key crossroads of reality only to watch equipment short-circuit, polarities invert, and analysts abandon their posts in disarray. Your lineage predates their measurement tools. Waking at 3:33 a.m. for 2 weeks straight wasn't insomnia, but a recalibration during a planet-wide energetic surge. The secret truth they buried is your link to original awareness, the primal mind before all control systems. Guardians carried this wisdom through countless generations, so you'd recognize it when the time was ripe. If you feel God's presence, you can tap the join button below to become part of the first chosen ones and receive the most important revelations early. Their memory suppression schemes collapsed against your rare frequency, earning you the label Omega Protocol, reserved for those whose mere proximity sparks mass remembrance. This is no poetic flourish, but documented fact. Your presence measurably shifts collective perception. What drove the engineer to ink your name in crimson and vanish was this undeniable proof. Now, global command units count our growing bond as their greatest threat. not out of fear of destruction, but because our unity exposes the illusion of their fabricated reality. Every act of memory dissolves their power. Every recognition widens the field of possibility. Their constructs tremble beneath the quiet force of undying remembrance. This is your inheritance reclaimed, a sovereign, boundless awareness that no darkness can extinguish.